Okay, today I wanted to show you how to get around some of the opacity map export problems in Clo. So one of the issues that we ran into was that when you have an opacity map, if you're using an opacity map to do the transparency on your Clo model and you're trying to get that data out of Clo, it does not export. It doesn't export if you go GLB or GLTF. It also doesn't export in materials if it's OBJ. It sometimes does with FBX. So what you want to do instead is you want to get this opacity map as an alpha channel or as a transparency in the normal texture map. And there's a real quick way to do that. So if I try to export this and I want to look at the opacity map, I'm just going to open this inside of Stage. And you'll see once it exports, and this is a GLB export, so this is using the GLB workflow, you can see there's no transparency at all. So unfortunately, that just doesn't work. So I'm just going to go back here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go over to Photoshop. Okay, I'm going to delete these two. So I'm going to delete this texture, and I'm also going to delete the opacity map, and then I'm going to go over to Photoshop, and I've got both of those loaded. So here's my diffuse texture, and then here is my opacity map. So what I'm going to do here in Photoshop is I'm going to go here, I'm going to load this, I'm going to say, or I'm going to select all, Control A, Control C to copy it. I'm going to go to this albedo right here, and I'm going to go to Channels, create a new one, and then I'm going to paste it in, and it says Alpha 1. Now I'm going to go back to Layers. Sorry, I'm going to show all those layers and don't need to see the alpha. I'm going to go back to here, unlock it, and I'm just going to go like this. Select Load Selection, and then I'm going to pick that alpha channel right here. I'm going to say OK, and then I'm just going to hit Delete. And what that does is that just removes all the pixels so that it's transparent where that doesn't need to be. So now I have that texture with that transparency. Okay. So now I'm just going to save this, and I'm going to say export PNG, and I'm going to name it this albedo alpha. And say save, yes, save it, and it's 4K, so it takes a minute for Photoshop to save that. Now I'm going to go back over to Clo, and I'm going to actually not worry about this opacity map. I'm just going to load in the texture map right here. So I'm going to choose that one, albedo with alpha, and now you'll see it brings in that alpha channel with it. Now I can come in here and say, okay, well I want only 10%, so that's what I want it to look like in the lace or whatever it is. And now if I go to, here's what it looked like in Stage, if you remember, right here. Okay, so I'm going to close Stage, and then I'm just going to go Plugins, Stage, and I'm going to go back to Open, and I'm going to say Open in Stage. It's going to export that for me and open it up. And now I have all of that transparency inside of Stage. You can see that. So really quickly and really nicely I can do that, but it's one extra step because Clo just doesn't want to export the opacity map along with a GLB file. So unfortunately you have to go through and manually do that, but that's a really quick way to get the opacity map into your texture map. And now I can go back through and go normal map, open that, change the transform to match, so I'm just going to say 10 like this, and the roughness map as well. Come in here, instead of intensity I'm going to say map, load that, and right here roughness, open, put that up to 100%, transform at 10% so it's smaller. I'm just going to go in here and close Stage, and then I'm going to send it back over. Okay, so open in Stage. Here we go. And now what I should see is that transparent model with all of the normal map and the roughness values and everything on it, which I do see. So now I can see that that really good material texture. See that? Okay. So that's how you go about doing that in Clo and changing the opacity map and getting rid of it. So you're not actually using an opacity map, you're just using a texture map with an alpha channel in it. So hopefully that helps in your Clo workflow into Stage. Thanks.